All right, gentlemen, it appears that we are live on the internet. Someone's going to pop up here and make a bunch of noise on this monitor here real quick, so I can't say anything important right now. I got to watch for it and mute it as soon as it happens. Otherwise, we'll have a weird echo thing and I'll look like an amateur. And it's being slower than normal, so I'm got to say more shit right now. Got it. Yeah. Hey, so tonight we're here to talk about some movement in the vape space. Not necessarily literal movement, although the vape critic like officially retired. He quit, and he plays an important role because the G43 is a vital role in the equation. But we're here to talk about balls, hot balls, and how these hot balls have been changing the way that I vape weed and the way that Kenny vapes weed. Kenny is here with us tonight. Kenny from Sticky Brick Labs. Welcome, Kenny.
Hey guys,
Come on, Kenny.
how are you
Kenny,
guys doing?
Great. Great to have you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I'm happy. I'm happy to all be vaping. When we all got together and seshed in real life, Jerry and Kenny and I, back in February at Champs, we all had the blessing of vaping on this little monster right here, and it all vaped us, and we all dropped our panties. It was so amazing. And Kenny went home, and I don't know, within like 4 days, 5 days, you had an SSV 43 like going. You built a vape, and now Jerry has one. Jerry has a bunch of bald vapes, but Jerry's been out of the loop on some news and on what's been going on, and I wanted to update him with the project that we've been building, because Kenny and I have been working on like an open source vape project involving hot balls and weed, and I wanna talk about that tonight. But I figure we can kind of talk through the journey. Start with the G43. Start with how it all started. I know the G43 is not the first one, but I guess before we pull our balls out and talk all balls, Jerry, how you doing, man? Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, man. I'm excited to hang out with you guys, man. These are great times for me. And yeah, dude, I've got one, two, three, three ballsy vapes and another one that's got the same idea. And so yeah, I got plenty of stuff to vape on. We'll have some fun with that and stuff to talk about. That'll be good. I'm glad. But anyhow, but yeah, bring me up to speed, man, on my own show. Tell me what's up.
Well, what was the first? What was your first ball vape? Was it the Symphony?
Yeah, it was the Glass Symphony here, nice and really fantastic, pocketable. Pull it out at parties, no problem at all. You know, no, literally, it's one of the biggest vapes I own. It's absolutely the biggest heater for a vape that I own, and but it's amazing, dude. I mean, well, I'm sure you guys have stories to tell now, but I mean, this thing, I've got a couple of the bowls back there, and dude, just you can cache a bowl in no time and pick your temperature. Of course, it's hard to migrate the temperature when it's this big a heat sink, but if you know what you want, you just dial it in and go to town forever on it. So no, this is pretty cool, man. Big honking heater in here.
Yeah, yeah. It looks to be bigger than the SSV 43 heater, and I don't know how big those balls are, but I bet that thing hits like a tank.
It does, and they're bigger than whatever you sent me, Kenny. Just send me 3 or 4 millimeter.
I sent you 3 millimeter.
Yeah, these might be five then, for all I know.
That's what I was 5. That's what they look like to me.
Yeah, but it's documented on Fuck Combustion. He's got it all up there because he did it kind of like open source, and then was kind of like, if you guys want to buy them from me, you can. If you want to do it yourself, you can. And we're all lazy. We just want to buy them. So I don't know. There might have been one other person who made one. He ended up, buying, just making and selling the rest of them, which I'm sure you guys can understand.
Absolutely.
A lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of fun, a lot of work, man.
That's awesome. I wonder. I would like to figure out at some point. I will take the time and figure out how the size of the balls and the number of the balls actually factors into the equation, because I'm sure if you calculate the surface area of all the balls and the number of balls, and you can kind of calculate the turbulence going through, you should be able to measure the amount of heat calories leaving the surface. Like if you have two different amounts of balls with thermal properties that are equal, you should be able to calculate the thermal potential of a convection heater. I would like to do that at some point when I have more confidence in my math abilities.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you'd probably have an equation that's got at least a dozen variables in it, and or you nail it down to a specific heater that's the same on 6 to 7, and then you only got 4 or 5 of them. But in terms of, I'd be interested in geometries, man. As I look at this thing, like what's really cool is about this thing is you can really examine the heater. Is look at how, I mean, they all just line up in a nice geometrical pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bet you there's a best geometry for this. I'll bet you. I don't know what it is or what it would be like, but there's got to be something that would make some kind of a difference.
I think there's an optimal size. Like when you go the maximum internal diameter of the glass and then the outside diameter of the heating rod, you have that Cheerio space, the shape of a, what was that vape? Go Boof Alpha. It had a little Cheerio bowl. Remember that thing? You have that shape of space. So depending on the size of the ball, like the diameter will match. And I think it's a natural characteristics of spheres where it'll fill out as long as like that space is somewhat of a normal ratio.
Well, see, but then I would think things through. I'd think like, okay, if I've got a 6 millimeter space, do I want 6 millimeter balls or 2 3 millimeter balls or 3 2 millimeter balls? And a lot of that would come into the airflows and geometries and thermal transfer, and that's where we need your equation, Troy. So
that's where Kenny and I have been playing with their balls, playing with different things.
Awesome.
I'm gonna start off the sesh though with some G43. That's my earliest ball vape.
Right on, man.
I don't have the Symphony, but the G43 is what started it for me. It sent me down a different path of vapes. It was a hard hitting vape that was quick to vapor. That's what I learned. It was quick to vapor and it was quick to thick extraction without overdoing it. A lot of other vapes that are quick to vapor achieve it by having such high heat that it chars and delivers a bad taste and a not so thorough extraction. Mm-hmm. The G43 with all those balls can unleash so much heat quickly, and it produces even vaporization that's thorough and fast, and that's magic, man. That's magic.
It's all those calories, baby. High calorie vapes. I love them.
Especially the Wally now. Using the wall power with the G43 is just, wow. Faster heat up. It's just a whole new world with that thing, and it's been amazing me.
I want to hear about this thing you're playing with. What are you guys doing? You got like digital readouts and knobs and all kinds of shit. It's just power, right? Bring me up to speed.
So the Wall G, and this is Kenny and Southie.
Blow yourself up for us, man.
Sure.
If you don't
Kenny
mind.
and Southie are the ones who concocted this monster. It's the battery sled version, just with the terminals from a DC power supply that plugs into the wall, where you can control the voltage and the amperage. So I set the voltage and the amperage to whatever I want it to be, and it ends up being like 10 watts or 11 watts, and it runs so much more thorough and impactful. It's got so much more spine with this than it does with the mod battery, because with the mod battery, the voltage will start out at 3.7 volts, but as soon as it dumps its maximum amperage, it just trickles down continuously. But with the DC power supply, it's constant. It's got the constant amperage, and it maintains so much more heat. I don't know what that does to the lifespan of the heater, but in terms of performance, it gives it so much more backbone. And I wouldn't say that the G43 was spineless before. Like, I love the G43 and I considered it one of my hardest hitting vapes in my collection, also the best tasting. But once I plugged it into this thing, man, it it grew up. It was like, you know, like the Final Fantasy character where it's a little kid and then it becomes like the adult in the early games, or the Pokemon like evolved. It's like an evolution. Its power grew up. It's a big boy now. Now it whoops my ass.
Well, yeah, if you're not doing fire or plugging into the wall, you're sacrificing something, that's for sure. So that's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic before with the battery. Heat up time was a little, but beyond that, it was pretty nice, and I was enjoying it. Put it on the power though, the power supply, and it changed the whole complexion of the device. And whoa!
But this thing you guys are playing with, he's messing with the volts and the amps, and so you're basically, but those combined equal a wattage, right?
Right.
So here's my question is, like you said, you're running at like 10 or 11 watts.
Yeah, I think 10.9 is what I was running at earlier when I combusted.
Okay, so is there any difference from you doing it there as opposed to like an 11 amp wall wart, or are you doing something where you tweak the volts and amps and doing something special?
I don't know enough electrical terms to feel confident in giving that answer.
Okay.
We are stepping down. Actually, if we put straight 12 volts into it, this thing would start, the G43 would start glowing on you. So we are controlling the voltage, and we watch the amps as we're using it. So let me show you mine. I've cut the cord and put a DC plug on mine.
Cool.
So I can just plug it straight in.
Clean.
So when you're using it, you can watch the amps. You set your voltage, and you can watch the amps go down as it heats up and then go a little bit up as you hit it.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you're going to get that as much from a 12 volt wall wart, but I'm with Troy. I don't know enough electrical stuff to speak to that. So I would be hesitant to just put it straight onto a wall wart though.
I would too.
Could we use maybe my variable voltage log vape power?
Absolutely.
Something like that people have been using, yeah.
I bought the one that Ed's TNT is using on his, I believe, that has a little display on the variable voltage thing, and gave that one to my wife, and she loves it. Saying it's working, you know, you don't have the fine adjustment, but otherwise it is working fantastically.
Okay. All right, cool.
Kenny, can you show me what you did to your wall G again with those little plugs, and kind of elaborate on the parts and how?
So right now I just have tape, because this was just proof of concept. So that's just electrical tape holding it on to the existing G handle. And that was just a DC screw-in plug. I just cut the cable a little short, put it up there, and then made myself, let me grab my power cord. I made myself my own power cord here. And all I have to do is plug it in. And honestly, I like the longer handle too. So now I use it that way. And that thing is just fantastic. It has been my daily for a week and a half.
Nice.
How much did those parts set you back?
$8 and then $75 for the desktop power supply.
There you go.
That was it. $75 and you can do any fucking thing you want with power, huh?
Yes. And, you know, Troy and I are working on a little DIY thing. So I figured I'd upgrade the power supply for the desktop for testing other things. It wasn't exclusively for the G, but it has worked fantastically for the G43. So
that's cool.
We both have the same power supply. And well, I think 4 or 5 of us now have that same power supply. And it just works really well, and that gives you a lot of options to do other things. And this is the funny part with the battery. It was taking about 4 minutes to heat up to really perform.
Yeah.
With the variable voltage power supply, you can ramp it up to maybe 6 or 7 volts and get the thing hot in 30 seconds and go within 45 seconds.
It's crazy.
Step it back down and you are going. By the time you pack the joint, you can start hitting it.
That's nice.
It's epic. I'm gonna throw a link. I'm gonna throw a link to this power supply in the video description.
Now, I don't understand the whole AC versus DC thing. Do you guys understand that enough to get me to understand it, or are we getting too far here, man?
Between alternating current and direct current?
Or even just enough to know which one you want. Because I mean, you said something like that being a DC, and then I go, fuck, I don't even know.
Well, the power coming from the wall is AC, and this converts it to DC. If I understand it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
What's my Silver Surfer taking right now?
AC.
Okay, so does he need something that big to convert it usually, or I guess the variable voltage power supply is converted as well, and they're small, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ours are made to power much more powerful things.
Okay.
I believe 30 volts. Do you remember? Or was it 30 watt? 30 volt.
It's 30 volt, 10 amp.
Right. 30 volt, 10 amp. That means we can go up to 300 watts. So we have a lot of play with that, and that was part of the idea. Is a lot of these power supplies you're not going to do that with, but with the DIY thing, we're testing a variety of heaters that from weak that require no power, very little power, to super strong that require more power than I even have on this thing.
Nice.
Because we're trying to make a great vaporizer, and we're not gonna, let the power limit us.
Yeah.
And truth be told, this was a vaguely cheaper one. We could spend $500-600 on a much more powerful unit that is for a real electrician's desk, let's say.
Right.
This is still a hobbyist sort of thing.
Right. I need to get a nug out.
Yeah, I gotta switch this bowl over to something else too. Real quick, Marcel, I have not done that. Have you? He was asking about put balls in the herborizer.
Oh, I looked at it. It didn't seem like there was any way that it would achieve anything positive other than the heat marginalizer.
I already get all the calories I need out of that one, so I'm not fucking with it.
You guys want to see some nugs of my homegrown?
I would love to see some, please.
Absolutely.
I can even show you under the microscope.
I was gonna say, you got the good cams rolling for us? Ooh, that's a little hot.
I do. Here, oops, that's the wrong one first.
Oh no.
So there's a jar.
Damn, that's pretty.
Oh, very good, bro. Oh, shit. Danger. I've got a hot ball on my desk.
Oh, that is very nice, Troy.
Sorry, man. Don't take it off yet. I'm navigating the hot ball. Okay, here we go.
The hot balls are dangerous, Jerry. Let me tell you.
I ain't fucking around. Dude, that's beautiful.
It's pretty sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you under the microscope.
All day long. Oh shit. You got that thing dialed in too. That's great, man. And the scope is dialed in.
Let me split it open and see what it looks like on the inside, huh?
Depth. Love it. Yeah, that's gorgeous, man.
That is beautiful.
You should blow that up on the screen too, man. You don't have the whole screen to yourself.
Sorry about that.
That is incredible.
Make it big for me. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, in your face.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, not bad, right?
Man, I love it. So you've been growing for what, like 5-10 years?
This is my very first grow.
Bullshit.
Seriously, man.
You've been growing tomatoes or grills or something for a while. Dude, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh man, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you done any sifting or made any hash or anything?
No, I haven't.
I bet that would make some goodies.
Damn.
That's something else, man. I likes it.
All right, let me
Dude, I love those fades. Those were nice. You gotta teach me those. I gotta get good with my feet and all kinds of good stuff, man. Okay, this ball may have cooled off. Yeah, I don't have the top screen in mind, so I forgot that, and I got a little aggressive, I think.
So let me just say, Jerry, as I've been testing things,
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things I learned was how hot those balls get.
Uh-huh.
So I went out and bought a tray that's a stainless tray.
Oh, nice.
To do work over. This is like something they'd put in an autoclave for medical tools. So I know it can take heat.
Uh-huh.
And it has actually saved me already.
put that on your
so I highly recommend this to anybody out there that's going to mess with these things. Do not forget that those balls are going to be 500 to 800 degrees for a very long time, and they will melt through you.
Yes. Seriously. I made the mistake when I was fucking up with my SSV 43 and some balls fell out and were rolling around my desk. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I can just pick them up just by putting my finger on them and they'll stick to my skin and I'll put them somewhere. Ooh, what a unique sting that is.
No shit. All right, so that's what happened. Now I've lost my little lower screen, so now they're falling down in the well. But I do have a rogue ball here somewhere, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I know what's going on.
Oh, that's melted through your seat already.
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened with that. It was funny. It came at me and it started bouncing, and I went to, oh no, shit, that's right, it's hot. And then it was like, what? And then it came at me, and it came at me and landed on my lap. But that was cool because I got shorts on. But so then I was like, kind of like, should I pinch it? Should I drop? So now I don't know where it is. As long as I don't step on it, I'll be fine.
And don't step on your ball.
We are a live warning of a show. We're going to show you how this is going to kill you.
Your SSV 43 is not functional then.
At the moment, it's got about 15 balls still in the heat path.
Oh no. You're gonna have to rely on the G43 then.
Yeah, I'll just have to break out something else. Well, so there's that, and then the other thing I was going to show you that's kind of along the same concept. I think I showed you this, Troy, when we were just chilling one night. But this whip vape, and if you want to, you can blow this up too. I'll zoom in on it. But this whip vape is from Onsen Labs. It's a new whip vape that they've done a lot of cool stuff to it. So it's not just another ceramic whip box vape kind of thing. They've done at least 3 or 4 things that I was impressed with, but in particular, pertinent to our discussion here today, is right here is a big solid piece of glass. So they've put a big glass heat sink right on in there, and it makes for a much more consistent temperature despite the differences in draw speeds like you guys have experienced with the ball vapes and stuff like that. So again, another way of going at a glass heat sink and a heat transfer system, and it's pretty neat. So yeah, it's nothing like hot glass to make good vapor, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna pack up this surfer here.
I have the SSV 43 going tonight, but I have gotten silicone carbide balls, and mine's a little hard to see because that's so colored there.
I thought it was glowing for a second. I was like,
no
Jesus.
way.
It's not glowing, but those are all the sick balls down in there. So, and this is honestly the first time I'm using it.
Let me see that, because I like what you did with your screens too. What do you in the hole in the intake? What have you just got a small screen bent?
No, that's a very large screen. It's about 1.25 inch screen that I've folded back. You can see the fold right there.
In the top.
Yep.
Okay. What about the intake though down below?
Oh, on the intake, I took one of my own sticky brick screens and just mashed it in there.
Just got it. Okay, cool.
And then I took Troy's tip. I took like a dab tool and came up from the inside and kind of flattened it out against the wall with my thumb on it to hold it on there.
You did that while it was outside of before you put it into place.
So essentially,
you took the heat off, right?
I took the screen and it was bigger than the hole. So I took my dab tool and mashed it through all the way through. So it fell through, pulled it back out, flexed it, opened it up a little bit, stuck it through the hole so it wouldn't fall through, put my thumb over it, and then came up the inside with the dab tool and kind of pushed on the screen to flatten it out against the inside of the glass.
Oh, so it's just okay. So it's just a plug really that's mesh. Very cool.
Just a plug. Yep.
All right. And on the top side, you just kind of put one in there at an angle and kind of mash it on, right?
The top side, the screen is about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches. So it's the screen, but then it's like rimmed all the way around with itself. And I just took mine's the 18 millimeter version. So I took an 18 millimeter male stem and just formed the screen around it and mashed it into into the balls. And now it's
Is
pinned
it
in
touching,
there.
is
It's
it
so
touching the
pinned that I
rod?
can't get the screen out to show you.
No way, man. Is it touching the ceramic rod?
No, I have the sick balls coming out the front almost.
Oh, okay. So you've got them overflowing and you can't even, okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Those
Yes.
sick balls,
My
though.
balls are overflowing in there as well. Like the balls cover the rod, and I got that screen pushed out. Like when I put the balls into mine, I held it down and filled it up, and then worked that screen around to get as many balls as I could in there.
And let me say, I was telling somebody earlier today, the SSV, I think all of the 7th floor vapes, you can move the ceramic rod up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're hitting it at, let's say 930, that's the person I was talking to said that it was running so hot, he was running at 930 or so, really low relative. And I told him to tap the heater down just a little bit, or push the heater down. I shouldn't say tap.
Hammer it down there, man.
And that should change it. And I've messed with that a little bit, and that changes my dial from 10 to noon or so, just by moving it maybe a quarter to a half inch up and down.
Yeah, that was my bummer with this thing. The first time I built it is I built it and it worked great. I had the fucker on like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, this ain't right, you know. So I looked at it, and sure as hell, the rod was way down. So that's when I took it apart, put it in my Super Surfer, broke the heater cover, and then just built this one again today. But I made sure I pulled that heater way out, and so yeah, by noon it was blistering easily, and I had to back it back down. It's fun, man. It's fun. I love high calorie fucking vapes, man. I mean, vapes like the Supreme is really the first one that I thought was just a game changer that way. That was the first vape that I hit, and I was like, this thing does shit nothing else does, man. Like, I mean, that's the only vape I've got stories about, like the shit I did afterwards. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. And so anyhow, that vape's nuts. And then the Symphony jumped right in there with the high thing. And then you know, then we've got all these the RBT vapes with the, you know, the high surface area, high heat up, close down. You know, the balls kind of go the other way as far as now we're there's somebody, Patrick at Planet of the Vapes, we talk about this all the time. Like, he's a fan of the balls. He's a fan of the big heat sink beat. It's very simple, easy transfer. You can nail what you want. I mean, it's that kind of a thing. I'm a fan of these high surface area, quick on, quick off things. I can just pick up and set down and not have to, and I want the temperature to change real quick. And I don't like the performance of those as much as this, but I haven't, you know, I think they could get there. But all day long, I love these high calorie vapes, man, that they just come in and they overwhelm your herbs with heat, and just instantly they release all their goodies, and it's full extracted in, you know, one hit, maybe a cleanup if you want, you know, and then you can get back to whatever you want to do. Just have that thing. I used to have the Symphony on my stage when I have my setup downstairs. And man, I'd put that thing on and just have it on like all afternoon and night. And it was just great because you just literally just go in there for 30 seconds, just go over 30 seconds, come right back out. It was great, man. So I know you guys are having fun with these testing these vapes, man, or the configurations.
We are. And I want to throw out, I mean, Kenny has been here, and Kenny and I have been talking about these ball vapes since February. Kenny designs a vape that's torch powered, and I want to pull it out because that's a hard hitting vape as well, and no balls required, no electronics required, and Kenny is still heavily devoted to this project. So I
just want to make great vaporizers. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm a fan. I was a fan before sticky bricks, and to me that's the biggest thing. Is I'm no different than Jerry. I want all the vapes in my closet, and I don't use sticky bricks all the time. I think that's preposterous because I'm a hobbyist. I love this stuff. I want everything, and I want to try everything, and it's fun. If nothing else, you're having fun. So
I love you, man.
It's a great hobby.
I want all the vapes. Why do you think I have a Pokeball bubbler on my fucking shelf, man? Gotta get all the vapes.
Gotta collect them all.
Well, Kenny knows high calorie vapes, man. I mean, there's nothing more high calorie than a flame. So absolutely, bro. These things, you're used to the ones that just bust up a nug.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's a good baseline, if nothing else. It has to perform as good as a sticky brick, at least. That's kind of my baseline. If it doesn't, then what am I doing? I'm spinning my wheels. So that's the worst thing.
What's up with the DIY stuff? That sounds exciting.
So let me move some stuff aside. Some of we're working with the ball stuff, and I found a couple very unique heaters. And so we're kind of working with the ball joint idea. So you could take this. Let me grab the female.
Is that an LSV heater cover?
Sorry?
Is that an LSV heater cover or something?
I know it looks like it. No, this is just the joint. This is a ball and socket joint, actually.
Okay.
So this is readily available. That was not proprietary 7th floor stuff.
Oh, you got a big hole in there too, don't you? Nice.
So that's the socket, right? And that's going to go in there. And that's kind of the idea, is you'll be able to move that around the load as you see fit. So this one, I knew when I bought it, because of shipping and supply issues currently. This was China glass, but it was an American seller, and I knew they could get it here quick. And I just, for testing only, I wanted to see. So this heater is so extreme. The first time I turned it on, the whole thing cracked.
Oh shit! Wow! Just turning it on, like that wasn't from contact. That was just
this heater is made to go from 0 to 1200 degrees centigrade in 6 seconds.
That's what I need.
Right? So it's dramatic overkill, but if we can control it, and that was more the point, if we can control this thing, then we'll see what happens. So I had filled it up with quartz balls and had at it, and 15-20 seconds in, bam.
Yeah. Nice.
So we have another one going.
1200.
I'm buying 2 of everything.
1200 Celsius. That's
1200 Celsius. Honestly,
crazy.
that's why I bought the tray. Once I saw the numbers that I was dealing with, I have a fire extinguisher sitting here. I have the tray. I have a bucket of water sitting next to me. So this one, I believe this one was a 24 joint, 1 step up from 18. This is 32. And I'm actually liking that bigger heater like that. Or not the bigger heater, but the bigger opening, which will create more surface area. We're going to try this one with the sick balls, actually. And now I know better what I'm doing and how to control it. And
what do for temp and time?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How fast does that get up to?
Same heater. I'm buying 2 of every heater. So this is the same heater, just a bigger diameter piece of glass.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and honestly, with the bigger diameter, it's a little harder to see, but so I'm trying to isolate the path entirely. And I've done a good job down here of doing exactly that. That's a solid stainless 304 stainless piece that I have in.
Cool.
And the finished one will certainly be different, but this is for testing. And we want to get something maybe up here. It's like a screw that they put on there, so we could screw a plate or a washer or something like that on there. And because we don't need to, we've already discovered with the G that you don't need 200 sick balls. You could probably get it done with 25 to 50. Look at the the G43. There's not many in there. So somebody else that's been helping us, and let me just say, let me give credit to everybody in our Zoom sessions that has been contributing. Diminishing returns. We don't want, especially with the sick balls that are 10 times more expensive, we don't want to do unnecessary things. This is not about looking pretty or, it's about performance only. So we really want to test this thing and see if 25 balls, 50, 75, 100, where we're working. And what Troy was talking about earlier, I've gotten temperature sensors, and I'm placing temperature sensors inside, outside.
Yes.
I'm checking like around the balls. So he's going to do the math. I'm going to do the physical testing, and we are going to see exactly how much that heat transfers outside of the heater area. And that's what I'm concerned with. If we can use the sick balls to transfer heat that well, it just opens up a whole new world of who knows what. And that's what we're really talking about, is we want to explore new things. And mad props to Bud. Let me just say that. I feel bad for where he is at, because Troy nailed it. This wall 43 thing, Bud was like 85% of the way to an incredible vaporizer. And that dude needs credit, and you know, he is influencing us for sure.
Nice.
Indeed.
So
what does Sick bring to the table, though? That you don't get out of the quartz? Or
so what I've found so far is the temperature drop. With quartz and boro, quartz especially, quartz has a steep drop off. So when you turn the heat off, quartz just bam and starts going down. Boro, it goes down, but then it's flatter as it goes down. Sick just has a nice even curve all the way through, and it's not like a quick drop off and then down
during a hit.
It's during the hit. Just if you turn the heat off, that's what I'm really basing it on. I'm not even hitting through that thing yet, because I'm more just doing temperature tests. So what I've really found with the temperature sensor is quartz kind of like quickly drops, but stays at a higher temperature than boro, and then slowly goes down. Sick is just a nice kind of even run from the peak temperature down to room temperature again. It's not like a hill going, you know, or a drop off going down. That seems to be the biggest advantage. I have actually 2 SSV 43s, and my wife liked it so much I had to get her one so we wouldn't fight over it.
Nice. That's great, man.
So I put the quartz balls, what I sent to you, in hers, and I've been running boro in mine up until today, until I put the Sick in. I actually opened hers up the other day, and I found maybe 5 shattered quartz balls in there.
Yeah.
That had turned to dust. Not just shattered, but there was glass dust in there. That kind of bothered me, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's glass dust in the bottom of it, and I was a little surprised by that.
Low quality silica glass.
I would hope not, because that was a jewelry store. That was like a jeweler supply place, and I had to put my tax ID in. I mean, it was very official. So if it was, that's a bummer. I do have ruby balls coming, so I'm interested in that too.
Tougher too. The Sick should, you know, hold the heat longer and be stronger. I would think that'd be the one to use.
There's the other comparison.
What's that?
The Sick is good to 2,900 centigrade, I believe, because it's made for high temp bearings, essentially. So I've taken both the boro and quartz balls out with a good hammer and taken a hammer to them, and they just shatter. The Sick, on the other hand, went into the cement. And I didn't have anything hard enough to. It dented a sheet of stainless that I have, so. They're not cracking on us, I don't think.
And they're not expanding. Is that right, Troy? I think Troy said they weren't expanding.
Yeah, I don't think Sick expands, or it does, but it's so minimal that it has to be at like a crazy temperature before it expands or some shit.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're using these in extreme application bearings. I would be shocked. I mean, that's what they're made to do, is right to move. I would be shocked if they're expanding below the temperature recommendations. So my next step is to take a couple of these Sick balls up to the shop and put them in a hydraulic press and see what happens. Just for the hell of it.
See what it takes, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then all you got to do is worry about the heater cover, and if they don't expand, you can be pretty good. Then it's just you know, that's cool, man. That's cool.
The quartz dust that you just mentioned is concerning, and somebody mentioned this in the chat as well. That's concerning. He said it could be devitrification or whatever that shit is with the quartz.
Yes.
I've taken mine apart a few times with the borosilicate balls, and I haven't noticed anything other than that first time when there was like a few balls that were like just fused, but then they broke free. Like I literally just pinched it and rolled it, and they popped, and they have a little flat side, but they still roll around on my desk, you know.
No way. So you got deformed and breaking. Okay.
No, I didn't have any break. I just had
boro is fine. I jumped mine out with the Boro. It was fine. I would recommend to everybody, don't spend the extra money on the quartz, just roll with the Boro.
Yeah.
I didn't have any break.
A lot of people were steering away from the glass. They were like, "Oh, I ain't doing Boro. I gotta buy quartz."
Yep.
And it sounds like this is actually the wrong move.
Was that ever a problem in the G43? I never heard anything about balls breaking in his.
No.
And
Truth be told, I've severely overheated my G43, accidentally leaving it on a high temperature to heat it up and forgetting. I've walked back to it essentially glowing, no breaks, no nothing.
Yep. I think the only fear of glass was introduced by Steve from 7th Floor when he was unhappy with the SSV43 mod.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to ruin the heater. They're going to melt in there, blah, blah, blah.
I think one of the things we've decided with the G43 also is not to do that 30-second heat up time. I would say that's probably not good for the longevity of the coil. And heat shock, that's what's going to break the glass, in my opinion. And that's what broke this one. It was heat shock, and it was summer here. It wasn't freezing cold, maybe 80 or so that night, in fact. So, but 0 to 1200 degrees, and we didn't get to 1200 degrees, mind you. I only went up to 600 or 700 and it cracked. But I think that's what it was. It's just heat shock in a matter of 10 seconds. You're going to need some thick glass to handle that.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's we got all kinds of thermal shit to figure out, man. Lots of fun, man. I love fucking around with that shit. That's fun.
Controlling the heat curve, to me, that's the biggest thing. If you can control that heat curve so it slowly ramps up, because I don't need things to heat up in 6 seconds, but maybe 20 seconds would be nice. This is not a portable push button thing that we're trying to design. So to me, a desktop that's 20-second heat up, that's about perfect.
Yeah, it just comes down to what level of saturation you want. How many calories you want in there.
That's right. That's right.
I stopped doing the quick heat up on the Wall G because I was overshooting it and I combusted. Even today I combusted because it settled in at 4.2 rather than 3.9 or whatever I needed to sit at.
Yeah.
But the advantage is I could figure it out. Like I could figure it out that 10 seconds at this voltage and 10 seconds at this voltage and then 8 seconds at this voltage is the perfect temperature for a first hit, and I could figure out a 30-second warm up. But yeah, like Kenny said, it may not be beneficial for the longevity of the lifespan of the coil. It may there's a balance somewhere in there. But some of these heating elements and some of these heating methods, we don't need to figure that out. Like some of these heating rods, like Kenny's found, are made to heat up fast. This one's a coil wrapped around a piece of glass. It's not made to for that level of use.
Yeah.
The heating rod that Kenny's using is made for pellet grills from the barbecue space, And
it's all stainless steel, I guess.
Funny how shit ties together.
It is, man. The grill space. That's crazy.
Kenny, you're muted, bro. Unless you're not talking to us.
I don't know, man.
It's a ceramic rod surrounded by stainless steel, so it can survive in the pellet stove.
Oh, right on. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, this is going to be fun with DIY. Lots of off-the-shelf parts, and the more people you get, once they get their hands on it and play around,
yes,
that our community is amazing, man. That's going to be awesome.
I'm having a blast with this thing. I'm kind of sad that we're having shipping issues. Everybody is having shipping issues. I have maybe 6 different heaters on the way. I hope these work out because they're $12.95 a piece for a DIY. That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
but I have heaters ranging all the way up to $125 on the way. And I really want to know what those high ends are going to do, if that makes a great difference or not, or if it may be more scalable, something like that. But the shipping thing has just been a drag.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you got to pick the right heater for what you're trying to nail. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know it's not as important as in this application, but I've tested over the last month, a whole bunch of dab rigs, and now I've moved into box mods, and man, I'm amazed at the performance that I get out of a Sayonara on a top dollar box mod. Like I have one of these DNA 250Cs that just came out, and oh man, it must just be the smoothest power out there, because I envision no spikes, a nice clean power that doesn't hit all these power spikes and heat spikes in my dab. And I just get this, it feels like, gee, it just stays at that beautiful taste the whole time, and no, I think if nothing else, power is everything, man. It's huge. And so the stuff you're doing, dicking around with different heaters and all that's going to play a huge difference,
Yeah, we're not. It's nice to approach something that it's not like a marketable thing, or we have to stay within some price range. We're just trying to see what happens and make a good vaporizer. And that's the best part, is we're not really answering to anybody, and it's not dictated by anything other than our passion to make a great vape. And that's a very fun thing.
Oh yeah.
We're kind of taking the approach of no limits. Like we'll go to whatever boundary we meet to maximize the performance of this vape, and we want to explore everything. And then once we're confident that we've hit it, scale it back and find the balances of what people want, what people need. I think a lot of what limits the vaporizer industry right now is the vapes that are out there aren't really delivering what people expect from a weed vape. Now people are adapting their expectations to be happy with current vapes. And sure, there's a bunch of great ones out there and love them to death, but I think that the magical experience is still yet to be unturned, and that could potentially make vaporization the normal. And I would love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Totally love that, man. That's exactly what I want to hear.
I fully agree with that. We talked about that early on. Is it a cost thing? Are we trying to put something together that $100, $200, or $1,000? And we really both just decided we want to build the best vaporizer, and money doesn't really matter. And clearly we don't want it to turn out to be a $1,600 vaporizer, but
yeah, this one's powered by diamonds, right? You're going to get so high, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love this thing. Go out there and buy 127 sick 3 millimeter
gold covered diamonds. Hey, has anybody ever covered a diamond in gold?
Make a great vape, I'll tell you that.
I'm awesome, dabbing off platinum.
Well, I love that sick material for the dabs. I was just, like I said, I've been doing all these testing, and just today I was dicking around on the Dr. Dabber, testing all their different surfaces. And for me personally, it's a no-brainer. I love that silicone carbide, man. It is just amazing. The sick one, they've got a sick dish. It's just, I don't have the sapphire, but I have the quartz and the ceramic and the sick, and of course the standard ones. And the sick is tasty and thick and keeps on trucking, like you guys have noticed. I mean, the things I noticed in the hit is interesting. I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense what you're seeing on the DC thingamajig, the power supply. So that's great.
The sick Dr. Dabber switch is a awesome cup. The sapphire is also really nice. The sapphire tastes a little different, has a little different mouthfeel, but the sick seems to perform really awesome across the board in like all the devices. Like the Carta, that works really well. The sick, the Puffco Peak with the sick insert is fucking fire. I got the sick insert from Cream City Vapes and my Puffco Peak insert. At first, I was preferring the titanium because at a glance, like the titanium just produces bigger hits and more clouds. But across more and more types of my concentrates, like after I made the video, like I really noticed that the sick tastes better and is easier to maintain over time.
And they're just running off the same power curves just standard peak power level curves. They're just changing the material. Yeah.
And my Plower Fat had a sick wraparound dish. I like dabbing from it, but I always struggle with the mix of flour in the bowl. That's why I never dabbed.
Gotcha.
That dish stayed amazingly clean.
So easy.
I recently traded mine away.
Me too.
But that dish, that was the one thing that I did love about that thing. I went to clean it out. Nothing. The
Yeah.
Q-tip didn't turn as color at all. It came out white. It was amazing. That's
Yeah.
what's I think the sick, like maybe a hair slower heat up time. But beyond that, it's just fantastic. I love it.
Dude.
So I'm gonna hit the twin G's. So I have the Mod G powered up and loaded and set to 13 watts, and I have the Wall G set to 3.9 volts at 2.7 amps. And somebody else can do the math. I'm not gonna math that one in my head.
Well, I can do the math for you right now. Basically, it comes out to we should tell Troy goodnight. That's a no-brainer, man.
That was
Nice
good mathing,
talking.
Jerry.
Yeah, man, piece of cake. This is gonna be a 1-hour show, folks.
In my live stream a few hours ago, I was doing the same thing here, and I managed to tip the whole thing over on myself. Both of them were hot. The mod battery fell out of the bong, and it like fell down, and it pulled the wire, and it pulled the whole bong over.
No.
And they were hot, and I managed to catch it and not burn myself and not spill any bong water.
I don't know
was
how
a
you did any
ninja.
of that.
I was a ninja.
You were, man.
Okay, so this so far, I mean, I've only had like three chances to use it so far. So far, it's been the best tasting and hardest hitting, most intense after hit experience I've ever experienced.
Have you got the temperature? Are you doing what temp are you? I know you don't know the temp, but are you at the high or lower end of the? What are you doing?
Right now, it clears the bowl in 1.5 hits.
So you're kind of upper mid, maybe somewhere in there. You're doing it.
It's running pretty hard.
Cool.
Kind of hard. Cheers. See you guys on the other side.
Yeah,
if I throw up
buddy.
or shit my pants or something, can you just like stop the stream?
I don't know how I can do. You're screwed, man. I mean, you're in control. You're the one running it.
I would have been disappointed if he was running low. I just had to say that.
If I was running low?
If you were running that at middle or low,
good.
I would have been slightly disappointed on the double, you know.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think he'd like the low because that's what I was doing with the flower fots or whatever you said. So that was a low thing. Because I was chasing that something I'd never had before. It was fucking nuts, man. Look at this. There you go. I love that. That's great. Dragging it out.
That's incredible. Yeah.
All right, man.
It tastes so good, man. It tastes so good. It's so intense. It's such a thorough, deep hit. Like I can feel it on my chest. I can feel it on my throat. I can feel like all of the cannabinoids and THC just like picking me up. You know that scene in the Matrix where like he goes and like he meets the machine and like all the little probes come out and they pick him up and he's just like floating there. That's how I feel with like all of, like the THC just like cupping me, like my whole body just like the effects from two of these at once, man. It's just like
that was a perfect description.
That's awesome. Troy's favorite hit, the body cup. That's it, man. That's fucking great. I gotta hit my brick, man. I'm gonna pack something because all the balls fell out of my ballsy surfer.
Yeah, Southie points out something very interesting. Wait until I plug the Mod G into the wall as well, because I can plug them both into the same wire and power them both by the wall, and it will hit even harder. And I'm not ready for that.
You have to turn it up, or will they both just run off the same?
No, I actually am fortunate enough to have two. We have found in my house to remain peaceful that the best vaporizers, you have to have two of them so you don't, internal battles in the house. So I use both of them off the same power supply, same wattage. I did not have to bump mine up whatsoever.
That's awesome. You just tie them both in and away you go.
So I recently got this triple from Amazon. Ooh. And they actually had something like the El Nino. I was kind of surprised. Not quite, but it was a 4-way with an exhaust on it.
Get the fuck out. Like just an adapter or like a bubbler with it?
No, not the bubbler part. It was just an adapter. So this one has a cork.
Yeah, I love those glass plugs. Perfect.
Yeah,
I've been looking for that for a while. Those are fantastic, man.
Yeah, these are nice. I was surprised.
Every time I want to go to 2, I just have to pull it El Nino, and I have like tons of glass plugs. So I just went, fuck it. I'll use the same piece of glass and plug up whatever I don't need.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm gonna finish off this bowl.
I'm dreaming of 3 G's as well. I need one of those.
I got to try the SSV 43 with the G43.
See, I don't think it worked. We tried it in Vegas. Like
I know. Yes.
Once you cut the CFMs going through the SSV 43, there's not enough air power to make it into its prime zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta hit it hard enough to make it go. It's like a turbo in a car, you know, like the turbo doesn't do shit for your car until you get it up to like 3,000 RPMs or 5,000 RPMs or something. You know, it's got to go to really spool up and do its thing. The SSV is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, guys, just hand me a brick and a lighter, dude. It's got a nice right cross from this motherfucker down.
We had an epic sticky brick session this week. Thank you for joining in on that, Jerry.
That was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun.
What did we have? Like 20, 28 people, 26 people? I forget how many
up there, man. I thought it was like around 16 or 20.
Somewhere up there. It was quite a few. It was a good turnout.
That was a great sesh. That was very fun. That was very fun. So I don't know if you could see it with the camera, but you were exactly right. I could see the vapor coming down the G side and very wispy on the SSV side. That is just not going to work.
Yeah. We did the same thing when we hooked up 2 of the SSV 43s to the El Nino. It was the same thing. It was like you had to like,
you had
to like pump it to get it going, and it just wasn't enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. I personally, every time I whip out El Nino and use multiple vapes, always like to have the same vape times whatever. It's all about airflow. You don't have to do that, but if you get a vape that has more airflow than another, then you're gonna overwhelm one and get nothing out of the other. So it's key to kind of get that same restriction.
Right.
And, yeah.
I remember talking about that at the party in Vegas that night. That we were having fun with that thing, but if we could have had 4 herborizers or 4 SSVs or whatever, 4 of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because we brought all those fucking herborizers. We had 3 or 4.
We had 3, didn't we? Or 4?
We had 3. We had 3 plus the XL. But we didn't have enough power cords or something. We had enough bowls. We were missing 1 bowl, so we could only do 2.
Yeah, I forgot my bowl like a dipshit.
We couldn't do 3, but we did 2 at once. So
I was a dumbass and forgot my herborizer bowl.
Yeah, I can do 2 here on my own now. It's fun, man. But the XL, don't forget that, guys. Given it's DIY, man, like what I'd love to have is my dream is I'd like to have this desk right here. Just be like, you remember, Kenny, when we were kids and you'd get that big ass electric kit with all the little wires, you connect them to the springs, you can make different circuits and you can make a radio or you can make a what the fuck and a fan or whatever. I want a desktop vaporizer playground where I can just fuck with all my variables and have fun. And what if we fuck with the bowl size? What if we fuck with the material? Or how about the number of calories coming through, or the restriction, or the heat soak, or all these different things that we talk about all the time. It'd be so much fun to do all that and figure out where to place things. And so I think it'd be fun to, as part of a DIY thing, doing this with you guys. If you're coming up with a killer heater, it'd be fun to do it in a way where you can easily switch out different size bowls and all kinds of different shit, and something modular where we can really explore. You know what I mean? Really, really have fun just fucking exploring, man.
That's what we're loving. We keep joking, oh, this is for science. That's actually what we're doing now. We're doing scientific testing, and it's so much fun.
Man.
I couldn't have thought or couldn't have found a funner thing to do for this virus thing and staying home and having too much time at home on my hands.
Yeah, man, better than the last gig, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Like I'm pushing for the push of it, pushing for the science of it for the industry. I mean, these things don't happen often, there's an industrial revolution and there's the Iron Age, the technology revolution, there's the .com era, there's these curves, these bubbles, these things that happen. Like things rise up quickly and then they settle down.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just things that happen. They're things that people do. Like it comes down to the micro movements. And Vape Critic was bored when he built the G43 because all these vape companies weren't doing shit. They were using the same off-the-shelf parts. Nobody was pushing the technology. Nobody was pushing the experience. So he did. He took the best performing technology out there and he fucking made it into the G43 to deliver that awesome experience. He took that boredom and innovated. But then he's given up, and we're taking it and carrying the ball. We're pushing the industry, pushing the tech, seeing what we can make come out of it. We're gonna force something amazing out of it, even if it's just for us. There may be 10 amazing vaporizers that come out of this, or there may be 10 million. I don't know, but we're gonna fucking push it.
That's it. Look at the Glass Symphony, right? If we can do that same sort of thing, if you want us to make it, we'll come up with something. But we're going to be very open about the parts cost and everything that we've put into it. I'm in the fortunate position of having my own glass blower, so I'm trying hard to not customize the glass. That would put a huge kink in the DIY thing, right? I don't want a proprietary part. But our goal is to build the best vaporizer possible. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. And Troy and I have also talked about that. And if we have to sell one proprietary part to complete it, that's how it goes. But we're not going to let that hold us up too. We're kind of approaching this with no rules, actually, that we don't want limits. So, I think we're going to get it done too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with them, man. That sounds awesome. Throw them balls out there.
Well,
man.
You're certainly going to be an alpha tester for us. So.
Yeah, man. Well, I thought it was funny when Bud was bored with vapes, because I understood what he was saying. But I mean, I was sitting over here thinking, you're just hitting the wrong vapes, man. Like, I got a fucking shelf of desktops that I just adore. And I had been hitting the herborizer nonstop for 2 or 3 years by the time that he'd gotten bored and built this thing. And now you guys have plugged it back into the wall. So I'm like, my desktops win.
I've watched you guys talk about it before. I think that battery technology is just not quite there.
I know.
It's fantastic, but it is the limiting factor, and I think we all know that.
Yep. It doesn't fit in the pocket. I mean, when they get a little smaller, we need it stronger and smaller. And I gotta think we're right around the corner. I mean, you gonna tell me there ain't no technology out there better than that?
I agree. I think it's very close.
Yeah. Gotta be, man. I don't know, man. I'm having fun with my flame. This thing's great. Dude, that sticky session was the best thing ever because I had been using my other bricks. And you started to show that connection. And I was like, I think I've seen that before. And it wasn't on one of mine, it was one of yours. But that made me go look at my shit and then pull out the old one and hit. I'm like, oh man, this thing is this is my favorite hit, man. It's fucking awesome. It's dope. Crushing it. Sticky bricks, baby. Sticky bricks.
So I got a P80 this week for the first time in my hands.
Oh, nice.
I got one out of the last drop when he dropped 10, I believe. But I didn't really know about it, and it was for a friend of mine, Southie. And he told me I could use it, and I did not because I was like, I probably can't get one for another month or two. I don't think I want to use this thing.
Yeah, you do. Did you already give it to him?
I mailed it on. I'm a nice guy.
No.
I know. And the funny thing is, I think it was yours. Didn't you have that in Vegas?
This one here, yeah.
Yeah, I held it, and then we started talking, and I set it down, and I never used it, and I picked up the herborizer and used it.
Motherfucker, that's how it goes, man. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Wait, I had mine too, didn't I?
Yeah, both of them. I held and looked at both of them. Didn't use either.
What you need to get is a tiny mite, bro. Because that is the other end of the spectrum that I'm talking about, which is because you guys are into the balls. and they do incredible things. But these high surface area, quick heat up and heat down vapes can produce lots of calories, and the Tiny Mite is it makes a case for being the top dog of that style right now. I mean, it fucking puts out some calories and thickens them up, and I'm bummed you didn't hit the fucking P80 because they're so similar. The P80 is awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to get one in the next drop. I might write Ralph and
it's essentially it's a different shape of ball. I mean, he's got 4 glass tubes being heat sinks and heat transfers and wires. I mean, it's just a different configuration, but I mean, it's a very effective one, and he's got a lot of heat trapped in that glass and a lot of surface area where the air is passing over it and a long heat channel, and it really provides a fucking dense, calorie dense heat stream that really just punches through that bowl, man. It's dope.
It does, man. The thing's intense.
Yeah.
Using it on a bong with like little basket screens, you can clear a basket screen in like one hit. Like
totally,
no problem,
man.
Like it's a beast.
Crushing those things, man. That's awesome.
I think in a fight the P80 would win, like over the Tiny Mite. Like if they both had arms and legs and they both knew the same style of kung fu.
The P80 looks like it would lend itself more to arms and legs. I mean, it has a natural face to it. You know what I mean? So I could see it sprouting arms and legs more than the Tiny Mite. The Tiny Mite would do it, but then I'm not sure what it's going to use for vision. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you guys are going at it. I mean, what this has going for it is it's got metal and wood, where this is kind of plastic and wood. So
is your Tiny Mite darker? Your wood is darker than mine.
It's probably just a camera or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're not gonna fight.
I'm gonna hit the SSV43. I'm switching vapes. I vaped on the G43 and then the Twin Gs, and now I'm gonna switch to the SSV43 and see how it goes. See how it compares.
I'm gonna keep hitting my brick. This is doing exactly what I want. Hit that brick. And Nate, man, let me know how you like the shirt. I want to see it sometime.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the G. That's for sure. That thing is just amazing me for sure. For such a small little thing. And I got to tell you, Jerry, it's really like the herborizer, the way I got the DC plug set up on it. I mean, that thing, you know, it's very close to that. I am really.
I want that on my G43 because I would love to put mine into a wall.
Yeah. Yeah, you do want this, actually.
That's dope. When I saw you did that, I was like,
So let me show you, actually.
Can you not just do it with the connection that Bud's got on here somehow?
You can't. Well, if you want to save that connection, it's a special connector, but you could just cut it and yeah, you can do it. If you're only going to use it on the wall, I just clip it personally.
Okay.
And I thought the resistance might change by making that so short. It did not change.
Is that me or
actually? Oh, did I stutter a little bit?
Did I stutter?
Voice went away for like a second.
Okay. So the resistance did not change at all. I thought it might change by shortening that cord, and it did not change at all. So you can clip that anywhere you want, essentially. Originally, I had the cord coming way off, but I actually wanted the extra handle. I don't have any complaints with the G43, but if you're only working with that little handle, your finger can rapidly hit that 300-degree glass right there. And it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, right on, man.
So one of the things I wanted to stand for mine, I don't like leaving it in my piece. So this is one of the best things I did. I took a 1818 female joint, and this has been my AVB collector. So you just pop the basket screen off and take it and drop it in there, and the AVB falls down. And when it's full, I dump it into my bottle. Once I see the AVB starting running up, I just dump it in my bottle, right? So this setup has just been incredibly handy for me. I really love it.
I love it. You made your own little ABV collector /stand / did you brand it yet? Yeah, there you go. That's great. That's awesome, man.
Nothing wood comes out of my shop without those bricks on it.
Yeah, right on, man. That's classic. I love that shit, man. Troy, man, good night time.
Well, I made a few observations.
Do tell.
The temperature of the SSV43 is hotter, and the weed from the bowls are more thoroughly extracted. So it's hard to compare the feelings that I'm getting. The twin G43s taste so much better. Like even when I get dark, when I vape it hot and dark, the issue I run into the G43 is when I get too hot, even pre-combustion, I can taste the screens in the G43. With the SSV43, I think what I'm tasting is the whip, but I don't taste the whip per se. I think it's just taking away or changing some taste, you know? And I'm struggling. I want the best of both worlds. I want a Hannah Montana hit because the amount of weed in the surface area, and I think Kenny is right. I didn't believe it at first. I didn't think the surface area was playing a big part, but I think the surface area of my SSV43 lends to a darker roast.
Were you running them at the same time, like through the thing?
When I run them at this, what?
Were you just running them at the same time, the G43 and the SSV43 at the same time?
I've been hitting them side by side.
Oh, okay. So you were comparing side by side. Gotcha. I didn't know if you were running them together like we talked about.
No. Fuck that.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I was wondering, because I said that would make a huge difference. So.
Never crossed the G is way more wide open than the SSV. You're not going to pull from the SSV as you're hitting the G because it's so open, I think. Do you agree with that, Troy?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the G doesn't, or the SSV43, it's not restricted. Like I wouldn't use the word restricted, but it's almost like a bong where you got to like pull through it and get some bubbles going, and then all of a sudden it's like.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I see, and I've picked up, where's the G? There it is. You can blow through the back of the G as light as possible, and you can get vapor to come out, right? You can get visible vapor from barely anything. You have to pull on the SSV. You have to draw on. It's to me, it's almost like the Terra. You have to get that thing going to really work well.
Yeah.
But you just got to get the heat into the load. You bring the load up to temperature. That's why I like high calorie vapes. That's why they hit so much quicker, because they get everything up to temp quicker. But then you got to be careful not to. You got to deal with the geometries of the load. If the load's too deep, then you're going to pack too much at this end, and it's just going to char, and then you got to do all kinds of stirring, and it's a pain in the ass. But if you get the depths and the draw speed and the number of calories right, it works out. So.
Yeah. Right now we're dealing with all of the different circumstances of the vapes and the technologies that we have at our disposal, and they're not optimal for what we could do. So like tuning the SSV43 or the G43 or the Terra or the Herbalizer or whatever vape we fuck with to work in its zone for how we want it is usually a little bit of vape hacking. It's almost like a hurdle, you know, for people who want to vape weed instead of smoking it. You know, it's a hurdle. Like you gotta learn how. You gotta try 20 different vapes and then figure out the nuances of each one, and then figure out which one fits your need. And hopefully there is one that fits your need. I think there's a design and a build that's capable of producing amazing results throughout the entire spectrum of user experiences. And right now, all of the vapes on the market basically have one little sliver of experience that they're good at, and a bunch of other use methods that they're not really good at. And I think there's one vape that could do it all.
One vape to rule them all, huh?
You know?
I think
full
the
spectrum bags.
Close. The flavor on the G is just so good, and then using the wall power, it just hangs the whole time. It's not falling off. You can extract a whole load in one hit if you want to. I don't have the lung capacity for that, but yeah, Troy could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of with Troy. I want to see a vape that can temp step up and down. I think that's vital. I think people underestimate that a little bit, that if you're at 410, 420 degrees and you're done and you hand the G43 to somebody to do a fresh bowl, can it scale back down to 370 if they like a lower temp hit? And how long does that take? I think that's super important and a consideration as we're doing one of these things. And that, so I thinking about the heat mass in the vape, that's another reason to go with less balls than more balls. If you have 200 balls heat like the SSV heating up in there, it's going to take a very long time to drop that heat.
Right. Unless there's a
Not a long, I shouldn't say a long time, but you got a minute or two. And I personally, I found the SSV to not be very scalable down. You find that sweet spot up. I haven't found like
talking about like vaping lower temps.
Yeah. To me, it hasn't changed the taste as much as I would hoped.
Like you still want like an intense vaporization that's at a lower temperature.
Yes, exactly. And I truthfully, I think I'm getting it from the G. That's why I think the flavor is better.
I agree. I would agree with that. I'm not sure why though. Like I'm not sure why the SSV fails once you dial it down.
Yeah.
Maybe I bet I know exactly what the fuck it is, Kenny. It's that heating element. That heating element has a disproportional curve of power to heat. You know, it's not an angle. It's like he is like you turn it up and turn up, and then it goes whoop.
Yeah.
So that's the heater.
Yeah, it's the heater. It's that ceramic rod heater in the SSV. It's the limit of the vape.
That's interesting. That it just jumps like that, huh? And then is it hard to land at the right spot after the jump? You just kind of you always land up too high.
Yeah, I mean it's a really fine tune. Like that's like the dial like on the SSV, on the titanium, a lot of these fucking analog vapes, you can turn the knob from like maybe like 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. Like that's the full range.
Yeah.
But the only real range that you're working with is like between 10:30 and 1. That's really the working zone. And that's like your fine tuning. You gotta like get in there and fucking kind of pick it. You know, wouldn't it be nice if that workable zone was stretched to the entire ring and you turn it on and you have the whole thing to fine tune?
Yep.
Those aren't hard changes to make, but what that change means is going from a 30-cent off the shelf part to a $2 part that's a little more tuned for a better experience.
Yeah, minor gradients. That's my biggest complaint, honestly, with the SSV. I'm loving it, and I'm certainly not ever going to say anything bad about something that's been around for a while and worked fairly well, really well without the balls, you know. But that is my biggest complaint with that thing. You touch that dial and it moves. I need consistency, and that bothers me about that dial for sure. Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about temperature in the chat, and we've been talking about temperatures as well. A lot of the challenges with temperatures, and this goes across the entire vape industry. Every vape manufacturer that I've worked with, that I've spoken with, all of their engineers, they struggle with vape temperature because what does vape temperature mean? Does that mean the temperature of the bowl? Because with convection, that is going to vary depending on how you hit it, and you can't calculate and change the heater on the fly to make sure that the bowl is that temperature. All these vapes with actual temperatures are usually estimates, unless they're measuring something on the heater. And even then, they're probably adjusted to show some sort of estimate of what's going on in the bowl. Like the Mighty heater, when you're vaping at 410, the heater inside is probably hotter than 410, but the air you're getting may be 410. So everything is going to be relative and fudged and a little bit of fuzzy logic with numbers. And I think I almost like just having symbols and some basic numbers rather than trying to interpret an actual Celsius Fahrenheit for a user experience.
What do you think, Jerry? Do you like temperature display or colors or some, representation of temperature?
I mean, I like some kind of scale, I mean, I've done this long enough that I have an opinion of what I think temperature means to me in vapor, what I'm going to get from different temperatures. So when I pick up a vape and get 390, I think I know what I should get. Now, that's just the way I'm used to communicating with vaporizers, because that's what these guys make them as. But if they just want to use analog knobs, I don't give a shit. I have a real hard time with dealing when they want to do voltage, because that just fucks with my brain. I'm like, don't tell me voltage. That means nothing to me except one number is bigger than the other.
Yes.
But otherwise, no, for me, and I've said this when it comes into convection, conduction debates and shit like that, the only perspective, in my opinion, that matters is from the perspective of the herbs. So, when we talk about, is this a convection vapor or conduction vape? I go, what's going on from where the herbs are sitting? Outside of that, I don't give a fuck. I wonder what the herbs are going through. And I would say the same thing when it comes to temperature. I don't care what the heater is. I care about what's going on in the bowl. And, if we're trying to hit 390 in a bowl and you've got a heater that has to get up to 1200, I think you've got an inefficient system. Get something different, I mean, fuck, man, I've been working on mini vaps for years. And when I put the temp probe 2 millimeters deep into that heater to calibrate it, I mean, the highest calibration we get to is 235 degrees Celsius. And we're hitting the mag. I mean, we're hitting, yeah, right there at the herb, right below combustion on there. So, I mean, you design the right heater or the right heat exchanger or something, you can get all those efficiencies built in. You don't have to have like some crazy it's 1200 Celsius degree.
I agree.
Heater.
I fully agree. And to me, I wanted to hear that opinion, actually. This is why I enjoy watching both of you guys, because that is a well thought out answer and answered exactly what I wanted to know. I'm with Troy. I need a scale. I almost feel the numbers throw me off, be it wattage, temperatures, whatever. I would like a very fine scale. Off the top of my head, like the Arizer Air 6 lights or something. I need 12 lights or 20 lights or something finer than that, right? But beyond that, I don't know that I want to know the temperature. I want to find the range and then come back to that range. But I don't want to be mentally thrown off with 410 or 420 or 370, or because I don't really believe it. I think it's a representation of things, and clearly it works. I appreciate how simple the Mighty or the One is. It's representing what it is. It works. I do like that.
I can appreciate that as well.
I do. That's why I have the One. That's to me, it like pretty much push that button and go. It's the most mindless thing there is. Same with the Mighty. If you can't work those two, good luck. But yeah, sometimes I just feel it skews my opinion, and I would rather just use a scale and not see numbers. And I'm with you, Jerry. The voltage, wattage, all this stuff. I'm not a big 510 person because I don't nerd out on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yeah, the reason I like temperatures is because I fucking test vapes for a living. I need to be able to compare them. It helps me. But the few people that drop temp probes in tons of different vapes know that very few of them are doing what they say they're doing. So I'm not really sweating that so much. I think most people have only a couple vapes, usually only one. So I don't care what it is, as long as they've got something that they can relate to and get used to. And what I like to tell people is I try to set expectations more than anything. The biggest problem when people come to vaporizing is they have inappropriate expectations, either for what vaporizing can do or the vaporizer they get. But they need to know that they're going to settle into a vaporizer. It's not like they're going to pick it up and go, boom, I'm going to get exactly, okay, this right here gives me hitting the bong bowl, or it's a dance, man. And if you don't enjoy that, then okay, then that'll be hard for you for a while. You know what I mean? But if you do enjoy it, then you might end up with a shelf of fucking vapes because it's a lot of fun. So if people come into it and they have something that they can use for control that gives them a consistent reference when they come back, it doesn't have to be digits or, it needs to be something, but consistency and being able to dial in is all I think it matters. As long as they're willing to dance with it, man. Dance. Yeah, and as long as it's got an 11 on it, right?
11. It's got to go to 11.
Gotta go to 11. Clap.
Don't look at it.
That's perfect, man. I don't know, maybe 13. We can take things higher, man. I just packed a bowl. I gotta whack this thing.
I'm hitting sloppy seconds on the SSV43.
Kenny, you're up.
Balls and sloppy seconds, huh? Okay. I can do that. I've learned my way so far. It's funny, the MC episode I was on was the first time I was ever live on anything, period, ever in my life. And now I'm kind of not all the time, but I'm enjoying it a lot more. That's for sure.
Now you're a media superstar.
No, I am not that. That's yeah. No.
You're a co-host and producer of Vape Church.
Okay.
Every Sunday.
That's true. I'm enjoying that.
I logged in to see 52 people watching you live stream today on Instagram, Kenny.
That was shocking. That was the most people I've ever had watch me at one time. That shocked the hell out of me. You're a superstar. It was an interesting day. We're doing giveaways on Fridays at 4:20 Eastern time for anybody in the YouTube watching. So every Friday, not every Friday, I've missed the past two.
Sticky brick is?
Sticky brick. Sorry,
okay,
yes.
Yeah,
Sticky brick. Every Friday I'm getting on Instagram and doing a giveaway at 4:20. And I'm going to try to consistently do that again because I missed a few. And it was fun, but I was also raging today. So it was an interesting live stream, that's for sure.
Oh, you went on raging? All right. Right on.
It's a time to rage and we don't need to go there. I got it all out of me today, so I'm totally good. But, I think there's a lot of change in front of us here. And that's what I was talking about. And I want to see some change. So I'm not going to be silent as a company. I do want to say that as far as politics, in my opinion, Sticky Bricks doesn't have any opinion. I have an opinion. So I can go donate or I can go speak my mind as a person, but Sticky Bricks, not so much. To me, this is not political, what is going on. This is just basic human rights. That is not politics. And people that are trying to frame it as such are just wrong. And I don't say things like that. I never tell people, you're just wrong. If you don't see this as a human rights issue, then I just 100% disagree with you. And that's it, and I don't need to go out and I really, that's it. That was the fundamental thing I wanted to say today.
Well, I saw your stream and it fired me up as well. Actually, I was going to go live stream and then you were live streaming. So I just got high with you watching you.
Nice.
And then a few hours later, I live streamed. And by then I was reminded of your message and I was fired up too. And I went on a big rant as well. I actually kind of talked about some crazy ideas that I had, a few days ago about like a no police future where everything.
I caught that, and I agree.
Social justice with full non-privacy, like everything is video surveillanced and tracked and open. And
no shit. What do you do with the people? Like, you got to like have stuff on you? Are you chipped or? How does that work? I
mean, you're carry your phone everywhere already, right?
Already.
Right, but what I'm saying is you're willingly saying, okay, you're going to some way we're being tracked is what you're saying as part of a consequence of the no police state. We're agreeing to being tracked because right now that's something people argue about, but you would have to agree as a member, as a citizen.
Which most people already do. Like we're carrying iPhones and on using Facebook and yeah. Yeah, built on the current privacy laws.
I have a bit of a suggestion, and somebody brought this up with me as far as this subject. Our police don't necessarily live where they're policing, and I think that's a major issue. It used to be that way. You used to have to live in the city you worked in if you're a police officer, and they don't anymore, and they're not answering to their neighbors. And I think that is the biggest thing. Whether we do away with the police or not, what we need are people policing that answer to their neighbors, that are a part of the community. And I think that's where they're losing touch, is just come back with us and be a part of our community. We're not out to get you. And I think that's what they're missing in this whole thing is just come back to us and be a part of us. Don't be you and us, just be a part of us.
Mm-hmm.
And when you answer to your community, I think you perform better. You have responsibility. You care more. And I say this because it's directly related to sticky bricks. I don't advertise. I started on a shoestring budget. I answered to the community. The community guides me. If I made a crappy vaporizer, I would have known because of FC or Vape Life or 420 Vape Zone forums, because I go there and I was a member and I am a member and I participate and I listen to people. And how is that any different from any other business? You respond, and the police are a business. They're not responding, or they're responding poorly. So to me, that's it. It's, I think the strength of us collectively is our community, right? And how we all help each other. Everybody cares about each other. And we said this about the champs thing, right? That everybody can have a piece of the pie. There's nobody in our group that's like pushing people away and saying, I need it all. And, that sense of community, I love it. I love it. I've made the best friends of my life in the past couple months because of this damn community, Yeah. And I think we've lost that publicly, that sense of community. We're just so hyper partisan at the moment. And I think that's the single most important thing, just embracing everybody.
Yeah, when I started hearing about a no police thing, I guess it was really only the last day or two I started to hear about that. And defund the police came across my awareness only in the last week. So it's all, for me, it's all a brand new thing. The only place I've been where I didn't think there were any police was when I go to Costa Rica. The area that I go to, the first couple of times I never saw a cop ever. I was like, what's going on? There's no cops, and it really is. I mean, when they have problems, they have to call their friends, and people stick together, and then the cops do show up. But as far as immediate help, no, that ain't. You can call your neighbors and figure out what's going on. And I never witnessed any issues, and so I mean, I have great faith that community can work like that. I'm not sure what we have to do in this community, and I know there's some things that we got to change right away that are pretty obvious. Things that are new to us. Typically, I'm slow, not like necessarily to do something, but I don't like to knee jerk anything. I like to go, okay, wait a minute, let's think through all the consequences of this and what do we do? Because I like where it's going, but what are the ripple effects going to be, and what are we really doing here? And sometimes I can frustrate people because I really want to slow down and look at it, but that's one I haven't looked at all. So I hadn't even considered what the options are there. I mean, defund the police kind of makes sense to me. We don't need all that shit. We need some, but none. I go, damn, that we got any laws too? I don't know. That's kind of, I mean, I'd like to get rid of some laws. Let's just change, I don't know, man, but
is this a moment for dramatic change?
Laws can change.
I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying dramatic change. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't,
Laws can change socially.
Yeah. All I know is that I'm not really saying a whole lot right now. I don't think. I know some people are really out doing some things, and I've got some kids, and they're out there, having their voices heard, and I'm proud of them. They're doing what they're called to do. For me, I'm more introspective, and I'm really trying to just be at home and ask myself the deep questions, and then really be honest with my family and ask them the deep questions, and really just try to. Because I keep coming back to, how do we socially fix an individual problem? You know what I mean? Like, this is something that's inside of us, and so I know my part is going inside and clearing out whatever demons I can find, and then talking about them so others might find theirs as well. You know what I mean? Because I think socially we're ready for a lot of change. We really are. So this is going to be exciting. I can't wait to see how much just gets turned on its head.
Change is so hard for people. People like to latch on to the old ways.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with what we're doing here for a while, man. Like, this is just in general
a great time. Everyone's been cooped up, and then now everyone's fired up. Like, we haven't seen our reality in months. It's a great time to build a new one and forget the fucking past.
True that. True that.
Yes,
I like that.
100% agree.
That's a good call.
Really, to bring this back to our community and vaporizing, I have a good example, actually. There's not enough women and minorities, gay people, whatever it is, in our community. This is a very white, male-dominated community.
Mm-hmm.
As a business, I've gone out of my way to find people. You can't just say I'll hire women. I met Sammy on your chat, on the MC chat, and now she is working for me and killing it. And it was because I spoke up and said, "Hey, I think you should send me an email." Right? It's that. It's not just that you're open to hiring a woman. It's that you are trying to seek it out. And those are the things that we need to do. We have to go out of our way and open doors for people. And that's part of the problem, is these things are just not presented to a wide array of people. And it's our job to do that. And I think that relates to what's going on. We have to, you can't talk about it, you have to do it. And that's not to pat myself on the back and say, "Oh, I'm out there doing it." That's not the point. That's not the point.
You get it.
It's finding the people that are passionate, just like me, just like you, right? That want to be in this thing, and give them an opportunity to do it. And that's all the people want out there right now. Just the opportunity to pursue happiness. That's it. They don't want happiness. They want to pursue it. That's it. They don't want to wake up every morning scared or worried or anything else. It's the same thing in this industry. How many people every day, I wake up worried that it's all going to collapse, right? How many people are busting their butt trying to get into this industry? We have to be open to those things. Mm-hmm. I want that. I want more women in this industry. It's a different perspective. Every time I have made a vaporizer, I bring it home and put it in my wife's hand and say, "How does that feel?" Because they're different than us, right? I don't care if you're short, tall, whatever it is, they're still different, right? And you have to have that perspective. I'm not building this for a single person or a single group of people. I'm trying to build it for everybody. And I mean that in a very deep way, not just my vaporizer.
When I'm testing and reviewing vaporizers, I always show it to my wife. Like, I show her the packaging, I show her the product, and I tell her how it works, and I get her opinion on things. Like, I see if she wants to use it. I always want her opinion. And she doesn't even vape, but her opinions and how they relate to each other, it builds another perspective for me.
A valued one too, man. That's cool that we're all the same way. I mean, I was just about to say the same thing. I mean, my wife has chimed in on just about everyone up here, because I always want to know look, man, I'm a weirdo, man. Like, I'm a freak. Like, if you're making a vape for me, you're not going to sell many. Okay. So I'll tell you about your vape, and I'll tell you what people want, because I know the market. But I take it down to my wife and go, "Hey, man, how's it feel?" And she's got smaller hands. You know what I mean? She's got different styles. And just like you said, Troy, I mean, for a while there, she didn't know much about vapes, which was great, because then I got a real noob perspective, like, great. What is somebody who knows nothing? But now she knows her way around, man. Now she's starting to know her stuff. And I'm like, it's a different, but it's a really cool perspective. I mean, she even said it today. She goes, "Man, I've had enough of these. I got an opinion now," especially with the dab rigs. We're killing those rigs together.
That's awesome.
Fun, man. It's fun.
I think that's awesome. I had so much fun that last night that we spent with you in Vegas, with you and your wife.
Yeah, it was easily one of the highlights of my trip, bro.
That was such a chill, relaxed night. No responsibilities, just fun, hanging out, and that was just a fantastic way to end that trip. And getting to spend time with our wives and each other. That was just such an epic ending to that trip. And
man, great people, great food, great vape, great view. The whole thing was set up for fun, man. It was a good time, man.
That whole swingers club was epic. I'm gonna vape on this bowl.
You just tell your mic drop as you go to a bowl. Fuck off, man. You drop that in my lap and I gotta deal with it. That's awesome.
Best joke of the stream. That was good.
Troy's always good for that, man. I love it.
Disappears behind a cloud of whiteness.
Yeah, man. But I'm with you, Kenny. I mean, our industry is shit, man. If potheads can't lead the way with this kind of a thing. I mean, we're all so easy going and love each other, man. You know what I mean? It's easily been, as an industry, the neatest industry I've been involved. I've been in some cool fucking industries, man. Like I've been involved in the surf industry for a while, and I mean, I didn't think I'd ever come up with anything close to that, and this is right up there, and maybe even better,
Yeah, and I fully agree that of all industries to make a change like that, it is this one. We have the most open-minded people, the most people working together. It's so non-competitive that it shocks me. And because of that, we can get 50% women or whatever. What is it now? 2% women or so? It's ridiculous seeing the numbers, and it's disturbing almost, because I don't think it really represents the community. But I think that women are just pushed out a little bit, and they stay behind the scenes, and it's we can make that change for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've been trying with Vape Church. We've been encouraging females.
Well, yeah, where's the
executive producer, right? She's killing it for us. Right? Amanda and Coffee Please and Sammy, right? All of them. Those are knowledgeable people at that. These are not just women that are showing up. These are people that know just as much as we do, right? If not more. And those are the people that need the chance. You got to just pull them in, and it is just a little damn note on YouTube in the chat to Sammy, and it's changed both of our lives. Literally a 2-second message, right? It's crazy. It doesn't take any effort.
That's dope, man. I love those stories, especially when they're close and people and like. Sammy's a lot of fun, man. We had a good time with her on the trip too, man. First time meeting her, it was a blast.
It's awesome. That's just awesome. I was so happy that I could actually take her out there and do that whole thing. That really, giving her a chance to meet you guys and come meet me, and because we had only talked on the phone. I think she had been working for me for a month before Champs. I had only talked to her on the phone.
Right. And a chance to fall in that wicker chair into the corner.
Which one of you guys was guilty for that one?
That was me.
Troy, because you look like you were trying to throw Kenny under that bus. I don't think so.
No. I take the blame, and I in retrospect, it was an opportunity. Like I saw that somebody could potentially sit in the chair and fall, and I did not say anything to Sammy. But I didn't. There was also other opportunity. If there had been no other places to sit, I would have been like, "Don't sit there." But there were other places to sit, so I left the options open. I knew Sammy could handle it.
Sammy said you set her up.
Yeah, she chose poorly.
I'm laughing my ass off because I'm ribbing you for doing that. But dude, if my wife was watching me about to sit into a chair like that, she would watch me do it and laugh her ass off. And I'd be fine with it because I like to hear her laugh, but it's just so funny, man. So I can totally see you sitting there going, oh, here we go.
To be honest, I fully expected Sammy to look at it and go, "Oh, that chair's fucked up," and then she would sit on the bench. I fully expected it.
That's great.
But sometimes you take risks, and
Sammy handled it like a pro, right? She sat down, got the Rio out.
She didn't even spill her drink. She screamed loud enough to get everyone's attention, and she didn't even spill her drink.
Yeah.
And then as I was holding out my camera to be like, "Wait!" like people rushed to help her up, and then I looked like an asshole because I was the one laughing.
Yeah, but then you broke out the Rio, so it was all good. It was all good. Yeah. Oh man, now that I've almost landed on my favorite dab in the house without having to go crazy on those, I think I'm ready to dab that gelato dab I've been saving. I still have that one dab. Haven't tasted it yet, but I'm gonna try it out. That'd be really good. That's the last of my West Coast fire. West Coast fire.
I'm gonna finish the sloppy seconds on this bowl. The first one, man, took me to a different dimension. Like I got sucked into a wormhole, like through the bong, and then like everything you were talking about, I had to like translate it and then translate it back into like my language.
How come I don't get high like Troy? Do any of you guys in the chat get high like Troy? What the fuck? He talks about the coolest fucking shit.
I got to do the small dosing mushroom thing again, I think.
Fucker, man. All it hits like Troy.
Actually, my last dose was 3.2, Kenny.
I got to do the large mushroom dosing thing again.
That's great.
Oh man, that was a good one too.
I got to turn the G back on because I agree with Jerry. You got to get there, Jerry.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna keep hitting this brick because this is working, man. This is working.
And
yeah, Donnie, you need a Rio. I'm watching the chat a little bit. Are Rios available yet?
No, they're sold out everywhere as far as I know.
That's been months. I understand the shipping issues though. I know Austin's taking it hard too.
Dude, I want to tell people, man, those shipping issues are for real. Supply chain issues are real. Like whether it's accessories or vapes or what the fuck. It's just hard to get, man. And if you can get them, then it's hard to get them shipped. And if you can get them shipped, it's hard to clear what the fucks. And now there's all kinds of people that were never there before getting in the way, and stuff sitting on docks, and it's frustrating, man. And people don't really know all that. You know what I mean? They just see the mail still coming. So what the fuck? But man, it's frustrating right now in retail trying to do what you used to do. You know what I mean?
You can't plan for things. You couldn't plan for the virus, and let alone 2 months down the road. It's worse actually, and not the virus, but the shipping part of it. I couldn't stock for that. I did not see that coming. And yeah, this has been brutal. And I agree with you. People that are getting mail 3-4 times a week or a package from Amazon here and there, they might not see the lack of consistency. And that's what's killing me. It could be 3 days. It could be 30 days. There's just no rhyme or reason for anything.
Amazon's what's doing it. Because I can still, at least here, I can get stuff delivered tomorrow, man. Like I could. I might not get it tomorrow because it's almost midnight, but I mean, really, I can get it in one day here. And what sucks is then as a consumer, if I didn't know what I know on the back end of the retail side, I would get that package and go, see, there's no more fucking problems. And fucking Amazon, they're the only people doing it anymore.
Yeah. So last week I gave away my Volcano Classic because stores gave me a gold Volcano, and I shipped it via UPS, and it took like a week. Is that different? Like what's the bigger shipping challenges?
Well, you're talking about a week. How long was it supposed to take?
No, it had no problems. It shipped from California to Maryland in a week. It took 7 days.
Well, I think the things that I know I'm talking about are I'm talking more supply chain stuff.
Oh, like, I understand that.
It's getting it to the retailers. Like once we get it out the door, the retailers get the door. For the most part, domestically, it does pretty well. I mean, it'll get some delays and you get some losses, but we're just finding that manufacturers getting stuff made and then finding a shipper that actually, I don't know, it's crazy, man. I mean,
International shipping has been rough. Domestic, it's only like 1 out of 10 domestic that I'm struggling with. And even that, it's like 2 or 3 day delay. It hasn't been anything major domestically, but the supply chain stuff, Jerry is exactly right. Torches, O-rings, the things that I am forced to get out of the country, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
I've had 1,500 torches sitting for 3 months that has not budged.
Okay. I knew about the supply chain thing. I just wasn't sure what the local domestic shipping situations were because I have to ship some things tomorrow and I wasn't sure what to expect.
Domestic hasn't been, USPS especially, honestly, has been shockingly good for what is going on.
Are they still guaranteeing? Like they stopped for a while. Did they bring the guarantees back for some of their services?
There's still an extra day on everything. So if you do the priority 2 or 3 day, it's 4 or 5 day.
Okay.
The priority 2 day is 2 or 3 day.
Is UPS, are they doing overnight anymore again or anything like that? Or
They're back to overnight.
okay, all right. Because for a while there, I know they weren't even like just there were no overnight guarantees anymore.
I'm just gonna use UPS. Sounds like USPS is having a lot of problems right now.
USPS has seemed to go backwards through this. UPS seems to have picked back up again, so they seem to be fine.
Oh, okay.
Dave's Vapor brings it up, man. I can get medical marijuana delivered quicker than I can get Amazon. He's absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
Last time I asked for a delivery, it was within a couple hours. I was like, holy shit. And it was the same bud tenders with I drove there. It was great.
I usually get my weed in like 45 minutes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's not a drone. That's like somebody showing up, right?
Yep.
A drone.
Remember when Amazon was pushing the drone things for a bit there? That didn't go anywhere, I guess. Or are they still working it?
I would love to see that.
I think UPS actually has a drone coming out that launches out of a truck. So when they're driving down a country road, it'll take it back to a country house so they don't have to pull down the driveway, then fly really fast and catch up to the truck and then do it again. And it's like a huge basket on the bottom of a drone. So it lands on the truck, picks up the next package, and goes to the next house that's a mile off the main highway.
That is great.
Truck with 6 drones.
6 drones.
Imagine how fast, how many deliveries it could be made with less trucks.
Less trucks, less gas, that's less environmental impact. Everything about that is pretty damn good because it's a solar recharging drone that charges throughout the day.
And now here, get this one. Take that same technology with the drones, and instead of putting it on a UPS delivery van, put it on a food truck. And instead of having it be just a food truck that's with like 3 people making like the same type of food, do those automated chef machine things, like a automated kitchen that can make anything. That way you got a mobile kitchen that can deliver any kind of food that is gourmet prepared with fresh.
Does that exist? Does it exist? Or are you just making this shit up?
I'm just throwing the idea out there for free.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm with you then. I was about to say,
the drone thing, the drone delivery thing exists. There's already machines that can make a pizza. There's already an AI kitchen. There's a mobile, like a automated kitchen that can prepare food and have an array of options. Like you can spend the thousands of dollars and buy a digital kitchen that with a automated chef that can prepare you food. These things are coming to market right now. They can be put into a food truck that can prepare all kinds of foods and built to package. You could have like one person that's just like the chef, the robot chef is cooking foods, and one person is packing them and doing the prep and packing the drones, and it's delivering the food. And
that's dope.
It's the future, man.
Well, at some point, it's still going to come down to some human issue, because I know that on Mario Party, that mini game where it's the 3 against 1, and the 3 are running up and getting packages and putting them on the belt, and the one has got the drone. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever team I'm on loses. Even if I've got the drone, I don't win. So it's still got to do it right. But no, that's dope, man. I want some of that. Sounds like Mario Party to me, man.
I think it'd be rad.
Although if it's too automated, that's no fun, because I want to fly them. Don't you want to be the dude who flies the drones? Would that be fun?
Well, yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Maybe you can save 20% if you pick it up from the truck with your drone, like, and you have a drone.
Yeah.
And you send out and pick up your food. That could be the next thing. Like, we don't need cars anymore. We just have like this $500 drone or $2,000 drone that you can send to the grocery store to pick up your food, or you can send somewhere to pick up your things.
It sounds like my butler.
If they keep telling us to stay inside, they're gonna have to come up with something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's your new industry for you.
Oh,
everybody
right.
Works on that.
This is the Jetsons episode.
Yes.
From Hack.
Yeah, there you go. His boy Elroy.
They're nailing it in the chat.
Is the Jetsons movie any good, Liam? I don't think I've seen it.
It's Jetsons with a G, like G43, pronounced like GIF properly.
It is?
Oh, like a GIF, you're saying? I get it. I am not going to let that go. He insists that GIF is GIF. What do you call it? Important issues here, people.
I say GIF.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody tells me I'm wrong.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
totally
I like
right,
that.
though. It's GIF.
Okay.
Ooh, shit, fuck, shit, fuck.
What did Troy say?
GIF is peanut butter.
That's true. I mean, there's another way to spell GIF, but GIF, I don't know. I mean, GIF just, it doesn't, GIF is easier to say.
Okay.
I don't know. GIF. I don't know.
Yep. Hot balls and the future of weed drones. Nice, Lux.
Yeah.
That's the episode. Hot balls and the future of weed drones.
Yeah. You could deliver a hot vape. They could take a hit, bring it back, go to the next hit, wipe off the mouthpiece, deliver a hot hit. Be the neighborhood bud tender, man. It'd be kind of fun.
Now we're doing Jetson stuff for sure.
Now we're doing Jetsons for sure, man.
That one gotcha, didn't it, Troy?
Oh my God. I have traveled through the universe and I have met He-Man. I met He-Man, the master of semantics. Close to semantics. They're very similar. And he said that it's definitely pronounced GIF, like giraffe.
Thank you. I knew he and I would get along.
Damn it.
And the spaceman Jesus has sent me home.
You almost had me blow back the bong there.
I also met Ric Flair. And Ric Flair said, "Woo!" Oh my God, that hit.
Nice.
Almost made my hat fall off. I don't know. That was some crazy hit going on right there.
So I just wanted to demonstrate this. I got the G packed, right? So I just tap it down, take that cap off, and turn it right over into that thing. And I'm done.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
It's one of my favorite things, honestly. It's so handy.
That's dope.
Hello.
I like your little tools and tricks with it, man.
Shout out to the 75 people watching right now. Thank you for watching three men talk about our balls.
Yeah, man.
Although Jerry spilled his balls all over the table. Like Jerry's balls are scattered and loose.
My ball was burning a hole in my pants, man.
Hey there.
Right there in my lap. Not balls.
Hey there, Mr. Hot Balls.
This is a fun way to spend a Friday night, you guys.
True that, man.
Yeah,
really. Thank you so much for having me on. I loved it.
Yeah, it's getting to be about midnight, which is where I start to. Last time I went to that, did hang out with you guys afterwards. Lots of fun. Wrecked my weekend.
Yeah.
I was up till 3 or 4 in the morning. It was noon and I still was tired, man. The whole day was kind of blah. Sunday I was like, man, that was so much fun. But I don't know, man. I wish I was a kid again or something. So, the fuck, man.
It's a state of mind, my friend. It's a state of mind.
Yeah, till 3 in the morning. Then it becomes a state of body, I'm afraid, for me anyhow.
Jerry, you never followed up with us in the Call of Duty. I think you played like one weekend and then you haven't returned.
I haven't played it hardly at all, man. I'm starting to play again, and I haven't played Call of Duty actually. The things I've come back to playing, I'm playing Halo 5 with Tyler, and dude, I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for Burnout Paradise, man. That's my favorite driving game of all fucking time, and I already beat that thing to shit on my old Xbox. And I got a new Xbox for quarantine and downloaded that, and I'm going back at it. I love that fucking game.
What is it? Burnout Paradise?
Yeah, it's a driving game. It's an arcade style driving game. It's
Okay.
fucking killer, man. It's perfect. It's like, I was like cheap. I got it for like on sale for like $20 or something or maybe it was less than that on Xbox where you download their store or whatever. But Yeah, man, that's a cool game. I played Halo 5, and dude, no, if you're playing Call of Duty, let me know, man, because I'm set up down there. I'm ready to roll. I got my headset.
We could switch this stream to Warzone right now. We could all three play Warzone.
And you keep me up till 3 in the morning again, man.
You gotta move to the West Coast, man. It's only 9 o'clock.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, we gotta do that.
I agree.
Pick up
Kenny, you gotta move too, then.
Yep. You move, Jerry, and I'll go.
My new studio has room for both of you.
All right. Kenny's staying up till 3 anyhow, man. He's making it happen.
Kenny's been sessioning all night with us, man.
He's a shit, man. So you're gonna play Call of Duty, huh? Are you still playing Warfare where you drop in and like, are you doing that one?
The Warzone thing.
Warzone, you doing Warzone?
Oh no, you made me cough. You made me talking to the vapor, and I was gonna make.
Sorry, my internet connection stopped for a moment. Yeah,
so
I'm playing games with him still a little bit.
Are you doing Warzone? Is that what you guys are playing?
Yeah, that and GTA 5.
All right. Which Warzone variants are you playing when you get inside? Which ones? Like I was
We're doing
Scavenger
Warzone with the people that don't own the game. We stick to Warzone. If it's a group of people that own the game, then we try to do a variety of the multiplayer games.
Oh, okay, cool. So you mix it up far out.
Yeah, it's fun.
I haven't played in a while.
I'll be honest, Jerry. I pretty much suck, but it's just fun playing. Pranav's on there from Dynavap and Zach from Puff It Up, and it's great. You know,
awesome.
We just laugh our asses off. It's fun.
Oh, I'm down for that, man. That'd be fun.
Oh, you met James from Canada, Stuart?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I haven't played with him yet, though. I haven't played with him yet. All right, cool. Well, are you guys playing regularly or just every now and then or what?
No, pretty regular. Somebody's playing regularly.
I play like 4 nights a week usually, or so.
And when do you start? Like after midnight my time usually? Like about 1 in the morning?
It usually around 10 o'clock my time. But I also play sometimes around like 4 or 6 my time.
Pranav's on. Troy plays late, sadly, but Pranav's on, our time generally. You could catch a game with him about 8 or 9. Pretty much any night. Nice. He's a fan.
Dude, my favorite time ever gaming must have been back in like 05-ish. I don't know, it was the original Xbox. And we had Rainbow Six 3 2. I think it was Rainbow Six 3 2 or Rainbow Six 3, whatever it was. And we had a clan going. And man, I'd be up till 4 in the morning playing that clan shit. That was back in my 30s. But no, clans would be fun. I mean, or I've done a big clan. It's just fun that you're playing together. But I like it when you actually have a little strategy. And the problem is I get in there with strategy and then I can't find anybody. I'm like, where'd everybody go? Oh, you're over there. Shit. And then I get shot before I get to you. I'll spend all the time getting to you and get my ass mowed down.
Yeah, we're playing like we have the tag anyway, but we're playing as a clan and we're trying to do more team play stuff and not just run around like deathmatch or whatever.
Oh, sweet. All right, I'm in. Let's do some of that.
I used to play Rainbow Six back then too, like PC version, but earlier, maybe 2099, 2001 or something. I was playing Rainbow Six and I love the strategy of that game. So yes, you should come play with us, Jerry.
All right, cool. Let's do that then. When are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
You gonna do it tonight?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on this session and when we go and all that. Like I'm in the fun zone. Looks like your internet's a little choppy.
Mine?
Or maybe it's mine. I don't know.
I don't know. It really looks good to me. Even Kenny looks good to me.
My wife is taping boxes and making me the gittery. Like I get all the noises, like that tape sound, like shipping tape when you peel it off the roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird sound.
All right. Well, yeah, I just gotta check and see what's up, but my guess is if I'm not gonna wake anybody up.
Yeah, just come join us on Troy's Discord. YouTube, you too.
Right on. All right. Troy, holler at you on Skype like I always do, because I ain't figured out Discord yet.
You're so old school, Jerry. I love it.
Dude, I'm such a dude, and I know I hate that. Like, there was a time when I was like, oh, I know all the tech and throw more at me. I'm fucking that dude. And it literally was about
Freezing.
it was about 3 years ago. I was like, I'm tired of learning new shit all the fucking time. I was fine with the shit I was doing 10 years ago. All I did was learn like 12 systems in 8 years. I'm like, fuck all this new shit. So yeah, Discord is another new thing for me. It just shows up as another new thing for me, man. I know it's better than that, but I'm sorry. I'm old man in this one. I'm putting it in that hole.
I'm not gonna lie, Jerry. I'm faking it. I just put this computer together for the first time in about 20 years. So it's these guys teaching me the new technology stuff. I'm totally faking it.
That's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It hasn't changed.
No, it's just a little newer, but it hasn't changed. That's it. I agree.
What has changed is and it drives me fucking nuts. Tyler's always telling me, dude, Dad, just calm down, man. It's back when I was clanning, I was kind of chill and all right. Now, man, I get into a firefight on there. I can't fucking, I'm like flipping out all over the place. I can't just fucking aim on you, man. I'm learning to just try to just breathe, but it's hard for me to breathe when somehow I'm like really into the fact that I'm getting shot at. I don't know. My legs are kicking. I kicked a I was playing my Halo with Tyler before this, and he was in the other room on his, and I was on mine. I had my foot up on the ottoman, and I kicked my water. You know, it's a good thing my wife was there to pick it up. I was like, oh shit. I was like, all I was doing was just sitting there, and some dude shot at me. I was like, I'm like a spaz, man. So that's the thing, is I don't want to wake anybody up.
One time I was playing Call of Duty at my day job. Like I was playing at my desk, and I had headphones on, but for some reason my audio device were set to my speakers, and it was turned up so loud that even though I had headphones on, I didn't realize that the sound was coming from the speakers. And I was playing Call of Duty, and I was talking to my teammates, and I'm like, they're at sea, they're at sea. They're at sea, and my boss like peeks his head over like the shelf like that like comes over to my office, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh. And like as I pulled off my headphones, I realized that I didn't have my shit hooked up to my headphones, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing Call of Duty.
Dude, that is great, man.
Yes,
the other time I had a good time with it was in the office too, but this was back in I'm going to say like 98, 99. And it was Quake, man. The first Quake came out, and I was in my early 30s or late, I don't know what the fuck I was, but I hadn't played those in a while, but I loved them. And we had a systems guy in house that was in his young 20s, and he had them all network. We had a good network. We had some great systems guys, but he didn't let anybody know. And he was running around installing all the computers. And then once he showed us they were on all the computers and we started playing, man, that was my first experience with time warping in a video game, where you would just play and all of a sudden the phone rings and I was supposed to be home 3 hours ago. It's like, oh shit. So much fun, man. The response time, there was no lag. I mean, it was a total wired network. It was great, man. Those are the days, man. Those rocket launchers, we would fuck you up with that rocket launcher, man. Like, I was a spawn camper. You would have hated me.
Oh God, Jerry. I failed to mention in that story when I was playing Call of Duty, I was kind of drunk because me and my team of marketers, we were doing this blog series called Cheap Wine Fridays, and everybody would bring in a bottle of cheap wine on Friday, and in the afternoon we'd all drink it, and then we'd write a blog post reviewing each bottle of wine. Nice. We all get so fucking drunk at work.
That's great.
I was drunk and playing Call of Duty, and
that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun, man.
I forgot about that part of the story until afterwards.
There was a time when I used to get really hammered and play Halo, and I get in that Banshee, just fly off in the middle of a multi-match, and just fly off. And next thing I know, I'm way down below the island, like stuck under some rock, just staring at the texture and pattern that they put like under. I'm like underneath the map. Oh, look at this cool little texture map thing, man. That was fun getting that high. That was a lot of fun. But it's been a while since I got that messed up in a match.
That's what we do in GTA. Like I get high and play GTA, and you just steal cars and just like vape bowls and just cruise, and you crash into somebody. It's no big deal. You just drive away. You know, oh, that car looks faster. You get pull over and drive away with that one. Yeah,
Love it.
badass. You
That
see,
sounds like a lot of fun.
sometimes I'll see Kenny and I'll jump in his car, and then I'll be doing dabs, and he can drive around, and I can just chill, shoot the cops, see the cops and shoot them. You know,
How many people can play in that at the same time? Is that like an MMO kind of thing?
20 or 60. I don't know, a bunch. The public
So you
server.
guys go in and play together in there and just run around together and hang out like a
Yeah.
virtual hang, sort of
Yeah.
like this, except it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can interact together and play mini games together. It's pretty fucking badass. It's well worth the $20. It was free a week ago.
Is that on the Xbox too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but I don't
Yeah.
think we can play it together on Xbox.
You guys are playing on PC?
Yeah, we're playing on PC.
Would it work on my PC? I told you about mine before.
I don't know. GTA is not super intense, and then it's like
It's an onboard graphics chip, you know what I mean? So
it depends on your processor with the onboard graphics chip. You know,
Alright.
memory. Like
It's a couple of years old, man. It's nothing new.
You sure you can't join with Xbox?
I don't know. I don't know if Xbox if GTA is cross-platform. I don't think it is, but maybe it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fun game, Jerry, for sure. That would be right up. If you like arcade racers, you would like GTA 5.
Yeah, seriously, you can get some pretty fucking badass cars in there.
That's a fun
All
game.
right. And you guys have that on the computer. I'll check that because I mean, it's all about who you're playing with. I want to play with you guys. So.
We've
Yeah.
been playing GTA more a little lately, I think, just because we've been getting really high and chilling.
Mhm.
And when I'm too high to play Call of Duty, I get a little frustrated, I think.
Well, shit, there's times I'm up, but you know, I have my best sessions at 3 in the morning. Sometimes I can't sleep and I'll come over here in sessions. Maybe that's a good time to check in with you and say, hey, are you guys?
Chillo.
That's what I'll do. Next time I can't sleep, I'll check in and go, you still playing?
Yeah,
Blake said it's not cross-platform.
Not all right. So the only thing I'm playing with you guys right now is Warfare, Warzone.
Yep. But
Right
same
on.
thing. It's the people. I wouldn't have this new computer if it wasn't for these guys. I really just bought it to, you know, I shouldn't say that. I'm doing some editing and work stuff on it. But the game part, it was specifically because they were playing and I just wanted to go play with my friends, you know.
And are you guys, all the games you play are on computer?
I mean,
So that's-
I play Animal Crossing on the Switch, but not with my friends. You guys have Animal Crossing?
I know. I don't know much about it. I saw it once and it looked like a sim kind of a thing, which I've done before. And I know what that, so I don't try to do those anymore. I'll get addicted to that shit.
Jerry, your internet's kind of flaking out. Did
You
ever-
sure? Maybe I'm just not talking.
Me?
Oh, like your video is a little bit grainy, lost some resolution.
Kenny, me? It's me.
Seems like it's you.
Let me check something.
I'm running 980 megabits per second right now.
I don't know what I'm
I don't know
doing.
what the up is. The up is probably more important.
Right.
38 right now. That's okay.
I see. Steam is updating itself in the background of my computer. That's
Oh,
why. For me.
Mine. I see mine flashing. Is mine waiting for an update as well?
Yeah. I shut mine off.
Oh yeah, it's waiting to restart.
So it ain't me.
No, it was you. But you're back to normal now.
But my shit wasn't updating Steam in the background.
You had a steamy shit in the background. What?
No, yours guys were. Listen, that's good, man. I like that.
I think there's been internet problems in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
It looks
A lot of
good to
people
me.
at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
Well,
we
cool, man.
did we finish talking about our balls? Did we fully explain what we're building? I think we did. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we touched on it fairly well.
touched on our balls enough.
Yeah, we touched on the balls, all the balls.
Your
Cool.
do-it-yourself balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are
You
you
guys
guys
do
going
it
to be on
yourself?
again?
Usually
Yeah.
we're trying to do every Friday, but I'm moving next week, so
Yeah, that's a tough one for you.
you might have to skip next Friday, Jerry.
Yeah, because you're moving Thursday. I don't see you being set up to do something on Friday. So.
Right? I'm already trying to figure out how to pull Vape Church.
Yeah. Let's just shoot for next week, man. I don't want to be a stressor for you. No, I mean, the one after.
So. The week after, right? I heard you. I got you. Cool. And we'll figure out the topic, and then I don't know what I said there because my mouth is too high.
You're big, baby. I love it.
I traveled time forwards. Traveled forward in time. There we go. Traveled forward in time and started saying the word that's in front of the sentence. You know what I mean, from the future. That's what's going on. Anyway.
I love it when you talk it out, man. It's good shit. We could do a whole like fucking snippet series. It's just Troy's from the other side ramblings, man. And we get a couple hours worth of just fucking cool shit. Fucking cool shit going on. You should do that, bro. You've got hours of this kind of stuff. And it's always my favorite part of our shows is when you hit that spot, man. You start talking from the other side. That's great, man. Well, dude, let's go play some Warzone, man.
So Donnie B asked, where do I find how to mod the G43? Are you doing anything about that? A video or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started it, but I wanted to make sure that we fully explored it before I made a video and documented anything.
Sure.
I didn't want to like make a video and then you discover that yours melted and like sulfur or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I've been hard testing it, so
Me too.
I'm feeling pretty good.
I've been pushing the shit out of mine.
Yes. So
I docked the SSV43 for a week for that testing, and the Wall G was serving up many bowls.
I love that name, man. The Wall G. That's fucking dope.
Donnie, really quick, all you need is screw in DC connectors. Mine is covered, but you can kind of see it through the back. It's just little screws there that you put the wires into. That's all you truly need with a variable voltage power supply.
I can put a link to those. I can put a link to those in the description of the video as well on YouTube.
And
so you get those on Amazon, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. We're going to go play some Warzone. So if you play Warzone, you should go play, and maybe we will encounter you and you can kill us because we're all
mow you down.
Well, thanks for having me on, you guys. This is great. It was so much fun.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out and sharing the project. And that's exciting, man. I can't wait to see how it develops. And we'll need to keep getting updates because that's some fucking dope shit, man.
Absolutely.
Good times. You can find Kenny's vaporizers at stickybricklabs.com, correct?
Mm-hmm.
As well as on Instagram, Sticky Brick Labs. Jerry writes his content, planetofthevapes.com, sells vaporizers. Right. And me, 420vapezone.com, as well as YouTube. There's a new forum on my website. Make sure you hit that up, get on there and register and be active. I'm going to start giving away some things in the haiku thread with some themed things in my Instagram this week. So get out your fingers so you can count your syllables and write your haikus and win some cool shit in the 420 Vape Zone forums this week. Thank you for watching the Troy and Jerry Think Dank. Peace out.